The day Daniel Harper handed out 4 unlimited credit cards, he believed he was buying love. But by the end of that same week, he would discover that the one heart he never tried to impress was the only one that truly cared. Daniel Harper was one of Toronto's most admired tech entrepreneurs. His company had recently been featured in Forbes Canada, and his face had become familiar across business news channels. He lived in a stunning glass mansion overlooking Lake Ontario, drove imported cars, and wore tailored suits that cost more than most people's rent. Yet despite the glittering success, his home echoed with silence every night. After his painful divorce 2 years earlier, Daniel feared loneliness more than failure. So when 4 glamorous women entered his life almost at once, a fashion influencer from Montreal, a fitness model from Vancouver, a real estate agent from Calgary, and a lifestyle blogger based in downtown Toronto, he convinced himself he had found new beginnings. He wanted to test something. Or maybe prove something. One evening, during a lavish dinner at one of Toronto's most expensive restaurants, he slid 4 black cards across the table. Unlimited credit, no spending cap, enjoy life, he said with a confident smile. You deserve the best. Their eyes sparkled, but not with affection. Within days, luxury handbags from Yorkville boutiques arrived at the mansion. Designer shoes, jewelry, spa bookings, weekend trips to Banff and Whistler. Social media posts filled with captions about hard work paying off. Daniel watched from a distance, telling himself this was generosity, that this was how modern love worked. But the housemaid noticed something different. Her name was Elena Morales. She had moved to Canada from the Philippines 8 years earlier. She worked quietly in Daniel's home 6 days a week, sending most of her income back to support her parents and younger siblings. She rarely spoke unless spoken to, but she observed everything. Elena noticed how Daniel would sit alone in the living room after the women left, scrolling through their social media stories of champagne glasses and shopping sprees. She saw how his smile faded when his phone remained silent at night. She heard the sighs he tried to hide. One afternoon, Elena accidentally overheard something that changed everything. The 4 women had gathered in the mansion's lounge area, laughing loudly. Daniel was away at a board meeting. They didn't realize Elena was cleaning the hallway nearby. Honestly, this is the easiest arrangement ever, one of them said. Just smile, look pretty, and the cards stay active. Exactly, another replied. He's too busy to notice anyway. They laughed again. It wasn't cruel laughter. It was careless laughter, but it cut deeper than cruelty. That night, Elena couldn't sleep. She thought about her father back home, who had worked double shifts at a small factory to send her to school. She thought about sacrifice, about dignity, about love that gives without calculation. The next morning, she did something no one expected. Daniel was preparing to leave for work when Elena politely asked if she could speak with him. Her voice trembled slightly. Sir, she said gently, I know this is not my place. But I think you deserve honesty. Daniel was surprised. Elena had never crossed professional boundaries before. He nodded for her to continue. She told him everything she had overheard. She did not exaggerate. She did not dramatize. She simply repeated their words. For a moment, Daniel said nothing. The room felt heavy. His first instinct was denial. Then anger. Then embarrassment. But finally, something softer emerged, clarity. He realized he had been trying to purchase reassurance instead of building connection. That same day, he made a decision. He didn't confront the women with drama. He didn't argue. He simply canceled the cards. Within hours, his phone exploded with messages. Confusion, accusations, emotional pleas. One even suggested it must be a banking error. Daniel replied calmly, I'm looking for something real. I hope you understand. None of them came back to check on him after that. The house grew quiet again. But this time, the silence felt different. Lighter. A few days later, Daniel called Elena into his office. She looked worried, perhaps thinking she had overstepped and would lose her job. Instead, Daniel thanked her. You showed me more loyalty than anyone else in this house, he said. And you had nothing to gain. He learned more about her life that afternoon than he had ever known. About her dream of opening a small cafe one day. About her love for baking traditional Filipino desserts. About her parents' sacrifices. Something shifted in him. Over the next few months, Daniel began changing. He reduced his lavish spending. He started volunteering at community centers in Scarborough. He invested in mentorship programs for immigrant entrepreneurs. And quietly, without making it public, he helped Elena enroll in a small business management course at a local college. He didn't do it as charity. He did it as belief. A year later, Elena opened a cozy cafe near Kensington Market. The walls were warm yellow, filled with family photos and handwritten recipes. On opening day, the line stretched down the block. Daniel stood at the back, smiling proudly as customers complimented the pastries. When reporters later asked Daniel in an interview what his greatest investment had been, they expected him to mention stocks or startups. Instead, he said, learning the difference between attention and love. He never again handed out unlimited credit cards to impress someone. And as for Elena, she never stopped being grateful, but she also never forgot her courage to speak the truth when it mattered. In the end, the man who thought money could buy connection discovered that respect, honesty, and quiet integrity were worth far more than any black card. Because sometimes, the most unexpected hero isn't the one spending the most money. It's the one brave enough to tell the truth.